The max out season has officially arrived in Pokémon Go, and we are starting off with the Go All Out event. This event finally brings the Galar starters to the game. We've even got brand new shinies to get through. We're gonna work through a few tips and some bonuses. This event is gonna be so boss. Shh. Kicking off with the Go All Out event is starting exactly when the new max out season starting, which is going to be on September 3rd at 10 a.m. and it's actually lasting for a whole week, all the way until the 10th of September, also at 10 a.m. is when the following event starts. We have been waiting so long for these Galar starters to arrive in the game, so let's kick off with number 1, which is going to be Grookey, the grass type starter. Grookey can evolve into Thwackey using 25 candy, and finally into Rillaboom, which is going to be an all grass Pokemon using 100 candy. We then move on to Scorbunny, which is going to be the fire starter Pokemon. Scorbunny evolves into Reboot, also using 25 candy, and finally into Cinderace, which is a pure fire type Pokemon using 100 candy. Next up is Sobble, the water type starter. This Pokemon can evolve into Drizzile using 25 candy, and finally into Inteleon using 100 candy, which is also only a water type. Moving on to Dreepy. This Pokemon is a ghost and dragon type Pokemon, which is effectively the main dragon type in that Galar region. It can evolve into Dracloak using 25 candy, and finally into Dragapult, which is also a ghost and dragon type using 100 candy. Something we're gonna slot in for our UK viewers. If you guys live in the UK, you get a chance to encounter Stonjourner for the very first time. This Pokemon is a rock type Pokemon, and remember, all of these come from the Galar region, which haven't been released in the game yet. Moving straight into the bonuses, it looks like it's going to be 2 times XP for catching Pokemon, and it's also going to be 2 times XP for evolving Pokemon, and we're going to touch on how to maximize that at the end of the video, which takes us straight into the wild spawns. We can get Grookey, Scorbunny, Sobble, which is those 3 starters. We can also get Skwovet and Wooloo, and if we're lucky, we can get Dreepy in the wild. This is going to be a perfect time to slot this in as well. For the very first time in Pokemon Go, we can get shiny Wooloo and we can get shiny Skwovet for the very first time. In my opinion, these shinies are very, very underrated, and they're probably going to be pretty sought after. We have featured eggs during this event, hatching from 5-kilometer eggs. We have those 3 Galar starters. We have Grookey, Scorbunny, and Sobble in there, a really small hatch pool. And 7-kilometer eggs, all the Galarian forms are going to be hatching from these. We can have Galarian Meowth, Galarian Ponyta, Galarian Slowpoke, Galarian Zigzagoon, Darmaka, Yamask, and Galarian Stunfisk in there too. And hatching from 10-kilometer eggs, it looks like they've only listed Dreepy there, but the fact that it's such a small hatch pool throughout these eggs, especially the 5 kilometers and the 10 kilometers, a really good time to go after those targets. In field research, we can get rewards again from those 3 starter Pokemon, and we're even going to list the 100% IVs for you. For Grookey, that 100% IV is going to be 465. We can also encounter Scorbunny, that max CP is going to be 470. The same goes for Sobble, that max CP is also 470. We can get Skwovet, and that max CP is going to be 404, and we can also get Wooloo in there too, and that max CP for the Hundo is going to be 302. A global challenge will be active where we're going to probably have to catch and evolve certain Galar Pokemon, and the rewards there are going to be encounters with Wooloo. We can get some XP and some starters too. Don't forget about those Pokestop showcases. Again, they're probably going to be featuring Galar Pokemon. Please enter those for some premium awards. We say it every single video, but it's really, really worth it, and it gives you a chance to work on that platinum medal for the showcases. Which starter Pokemon are you gonna pick? The reason why we ask is because we have the max out special research, which is finally going to go live, and in this research we're going to have to pick 1 starter Pokemon, either Grookey, Scorbunny, or Sobble. We're going to have to progress through the pages and effectively complete it before December 3rd, because that is when the research is going to expire. Moving into our top tips, starting off with tip number 1, which is going to be surrounding XP. We don't necessarily want you guys to focus on the double catch XP, even though that is very, very effective. Remember to pop that lucky egg if that's a route you want to go, but we're going to focus on that double evolution XP bonus. Guys, the fact that this is going to be lasting for 7 days, usually we would only have 1 hour during like a spotlight hour or something like that. But in this case, you can literally pick maybe a half an hour where you can maybe pop a lucky egg and take every excess Pokemon in your bag that you have excess candy for, or you could use the Pokemon that only use 12 candy per evolution. Those Pokemon are going to be Weedle, Caterpie, Wurmple, Pidgey, and Wishmer. Pick a half an hour or an hour that you can maybe lucky egg or double lucky egg, and I want you to blow through those evolutions. Every evolution on a double XP bonus with the lucky egg running, you're gonna get 4,000 XP per evolution. So yes, it is a little bit tedious, but if you can just sit for half an hour and evolve, the XP is just gonna accumulate over time. And for example, I've done this in a very concentrated spotlight hour, and with all the evolutions that I did, you could maybe get up to about 150 in one concentrated hour. I got about, it was definitely well over 500,000 XP. So guys, this is a great way to get XP, and please use it because it's going to be lasting for 7 days. Tip number 2 has to do with Dynamaxing. Now guys, we're gonna have a separate video coming out in time on this feature and how it's really gonna work in Pokemon Go, but because this event is starting first, we want you guys to focus on the field research as well as those 5-kilometer eggs. The reason why is that it gives you a much higher chance at getting the hundo for their starter Pokemon, which again are gonna be Grookey, Scorbunny, and Sobble. The reason why you wanna get a hundo for this Pokemon as early as possible is that all of these Pokemon, when they are fully evolved into that Rillaboom and Teleon, as well as the Cinderace, all of those Pokemon have Dynamax but Gigantamax features, which is definitely going to be coming into the game at some point. At that stage, you're probably going to want the hundo, because when you had the Gigantamax factor on these Pokemon, it's going to be at its full power already because it's a hundo. Please go after this field research and look out for those 100% IVs. They're really going to help you. Tip number 3 is going to be surrounding probably my favorite Pokemon in this entire region. Dreepy. Dreepy is going to be extremely hard to get because there's only 2 ways to get it. One is going to be in the wild, and I think that spawn chance is literally going to be like 1%. So if you see that kind of dark snake shadow on your radar, that is going to be a Dreepy encounter. Walk to that Pokestop. That is going to be one way to get it, but probably the better way to get it is going to be to look at that 10-kilometer egg pool. Just bear in mind, look how small that egg pool is, and because they've only listed Dreepy, like I said, I probably think they're going to add 1 or 2 more Galar Pokemon in there, maybe something like a Yamask, like we said earlier, but I would say for sure that this is going to be your best way to get it, because remember that the base floor from hatching eggs is going to be 10, 10, 10. So just imagine you got that hundo on one of your first egg hatches. That would be incredible. Guys, that is Go All Out. Love you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Go with us. We're going to be coming with that max out video soon, and we're even going to try and break down Dynamaxing, how it's going to work in the game, as well as maybe even breaking down those new starter Pokemon in detail. All right, guys, peace out, and we'll catch you in the next one, baby. Shh.